Hey everyone, it's your girl Simone Nicole and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to hop on here and do a quick little video on astrology, which is something that I talk about nonstop if you know me in my personal life, and I just use it a lot in my daily life, and it's something I'm super passionate about, and it's also something that I feel like is super misunderstood. So I just wanted to make a video, I guess, for beginners of astrology to help people understand exactly what it is, because the misconceptions are crazy about astrology, and the misconceptions about people that believe in astrology is kind of crazy to me. So that's why I'm sitting down to make this video today. Now, before we get started, I have started something on my channel where I give a shout out to somebody that has supported my channel and supported me since the beginning, or has just become a very active member here on my page, whether that's physically commenting or encouraging me in my daily life. So I just want to show a little love to those people. My shout out for this video is going to be my very dear friend, Miss Tia Harris. I love her so much. We started out as co-workers and we have ended up becoming great friends, and she always encourages me to keep on going, and she watches all of my videos and she helps me with video ideas, and she's just really supportive. So I wanted to take the time to publicly say thank you to Miss Tia, and I feel like I'm already can hear the comments of how we look alike, and we get that all the time. I just wanted to take this time to publicly tell you thank you for your support, because it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Now let's move straight into the video. So a fun fact that most people do not know is that astrology, the study of astrology and the study of the stars, actually used to be a religion. It was that widely respected and understood and studied by scientists that it was actually considered a religion, and not a lot of people know that. So this isn't just like crackpot science that everyone just decided to believe in one day because it's like hippie and cool. Like, that's not the case at all. I guess that's why some people are into it, but it is a very legitimate thing to believe in, scientifically proven, scientifically backed up. And it is not just people that sat down and decided that every 30 days we're going to change the name of this sign and decide to call them signs, and then we're just going to assign random characteristics to it. That wasn't it at all. In addition to that, back in the day, like I don't know if as far as like BC, but definitely in the ages like before we had like very modern things, when there were still kings and queens and more of the monarchy kind of deals, only extremely rich people were able to get their information on their astrology, because it costs so much money, and it was an honor to bring in somebody to be able to tell them what sign they were, like what their sun sign was, what their moon sign was. That was a privilege to know, and a lot of people moved and lived their lives because of it, because they knew that there was power behind knowing the things that they had known. So it's kind of crazy how far we've come with it to now where it's lost so much respect and admiration, when it started off as something that was so sacred. I guess that now, since we moved on to modern days, we've lost a lot of that, and the connotation has become very negative. And that kind of brings me to one of my first points. If all of your understanding of astrology comes from horoscopes, throw that away. I don't look at my horoscope ever. I think that every time I look at it, it's just so broad. It doesn't actually help me. It's like, today you're gonna have a good day, or today you're gonna be confused, or like, they're so broad that they just fit anybody. And I think that that's just kind of an easy way for a magazine to have an ongoing segment, so they use it to their advantage, which is fine, but it also poisons people's minds into thinking that astrology is horoscopes, when in reality it's not at all. I don't use astrology to figure out how I'm going to feel every day, or how my week is going to look, or how my month or my year is going to look. That's not why I use astrology or why I believe in it at all. So I think that the first step for the beginner is to put down the cosmopolitan, the back of newspapers, whatever Google search that you do to figure out how you should be feeling according to your sign, because that's messing you up. Another thing that I often hear non-astrology believers say is that they don't believe in it because they don't fit their sign, which is a valid way to feel, but I also think that it comes from a place of ignorance, and not like you're stupid, but a place of genuine ignorance where you just don't understand how astrology works. You can Google whatever your sun sign is, and I'll get into what that means. You can Google whatever your sun sign is, meaning, like, for instance, I was born on March 18th, so that makes me a Pisces. You can Google characteristics of a Pisces, read them, and then decide that they don't really fit you, and then that mostly makes people kind of write astrology off as a whole. But the reason why that doesn't really work is because you actually have 3 different determining factors in your astrological breakdown. So you have your sun sign, you have your moon sign, and you have your rising sign. So what all of this means is that your rising sign is the thing that if you were just to meet me for 2 seconds, then you would make assumptions about me, and then you would make characteristic assumptions about me. That's your rising sign. That is what people perceive you to be. Like, if you only know them in passing at work, if you meet them at a party, someone that you have very, very limited interaction with, what you would think that they would be. And then you have your sun sign, and your sun sign is determined by literally the day that you were born. That's non-negotiable. Just is what it is. It's just the category that you fall into. Now, the most important sign to me is your moon sign. So your moon sign is how you feel on the inside, what you relate to, your emotions, your inner working, your inner being. Now, I hope that doesn't get confusing. You technically don't have 3 different signs. In order to understand why you don't necessarily relate to, say you're a Leo, and your entire life you heard all these things about Leo and they just don't fit you, figure out what all your full birth chart says. So everything that I named you can find out via your birth chart, and it's not that hard to like kind of understand how to read it. There's like 1,000 videos on YouTube, not just mine, and that's how I learned to read my birth chart. So all you have to do in order to get your birth chart is literally Google natal birth chart or birth chart. And all you need to know is what day you were born and what time you were born and the city in which you were born in. The more specific, the better. You can call, I think it's like the Office of Vital Statistics. Every major city has one, every city has one, and they can tell you what time you were born because birth certificates no longer have it on there anymore. So once you find all that out, you put it into the little generator and it spits out your entire birth chart. So it not only tells you your sun sign, for instance, once again, I'm a Pisces. It not only tells me that I'm a Pisces, it tells me my rising or my ascending sign, what people would think that I am when they first meet me, which is a Gemini, fun fact. And then it also tells me my moon sign, which is how I feel on the inside, what I likely relate to. So my entire life, I have felt like a Pisces. I felt like I fit Pisces perfectly, like everything about Pisces is me, and that is because I am a double Pisces. I am a Pisces sun and I am also a Pisces moon. So I have a bunch of Pisces in my chart, and I guess I'm like a double water sign. And if you look up your birth chart and you figure out, like, I just really haven't felt like a Sagittarius my entire life, likely your moon sign is a water sign, because water signs are very, very strong in somebody. So your sun sign could be Sagittarius and your moon sign could be Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces, and you probably relate to that a lot more because the emotions of water signs are so strong. And I will get into what water signs mean in 1 second. So I hope that all of that didn't just confuse you all. I just wanted to get the point across that you have an entire birth chart that tells you so much about yourself. And it also tells you where your planets were when you were born and what age they were in. So like your Venus, I think it is your sign of like how you love. Your something else is how you communicate, your communication skills. Your Pluto is how you deal with sad things and the bad things in life and controversies. All of that things, those things are broken down in your natal chart. And for me, once I got my full birth chart, I was just like, wow, like it just helps me understand myself so much. I personally think that if you are struggling to understand who you are and you don't understand like why you're so different from your siblings or from your parents, or why you feel so differently, and why you tick, what makes you tick, and why you do the things that you do, knowing your full birth chart can be very, very, very helpful. Now, I'm not saying that I like live my life based on astrology, but it does help me understand people. So for instance, my mom is a Virgo and my boyfriend is also a Virgo, and there's big differences between males and females within the same sign, and I'll get to that in a second. But my mom has from what we know, my mom has a water moon. She has a Pisces moon, and it makes a lot of sense with how sensitive and empathetic and emotional she can be. It makes a lot of sense that she has a water moon. Now my boyfriend, on the other hand, has a Taurus moon, and that, like, Virgo makes sense for him, but that Taurus moon explains so much about him. And I guess it just helps me to know that some things are just in his nature. He is stubborn as an ox. And there's just a lot of things about him that helps me to understand that he can't help certain things. And that's not to say that you can't work past what your astrological signs give you. It's to let you know that these things are just kind of in me, and I have to work against them to be the best person that I can be. So knowing that you are a certain sign, whether there's a lot of negative or positive connotations to them, does not mean that you get to rest in that. You shouldn't just say like, oh, I'm a Pisces, so I'm supposed to be sad and emotional all the time. Like, that might be true, and you might feel sad all the time, you might feel emotional all the time, but you can't rest in that, and you can't live your entire life based off of that. It's more so just a way to help you understand that, wow, this is who I am, this is what I am, and this is why I take things in this way, and this is why I get angry so easily, or this is why I'm so emotional, or this is why I'm so emotionless. It's just extremely, extremely, extremely helpful. So let's talk about the categories of signs. So you have air signs, earth signs, water signs, and fire signs. So when we're talking about earth signs, you have Capricorns, Tauruses, and Virgos. When we're speaking about fire signs, we are talking about Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. When it comes to water signs, that includes Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And air signs include Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So all 12 signs, all 12 sun signs are all split into different categories according to their elements. I am a water sign, and there's certain characteristics that are associated with each element. So water signs are said to be a lot more emotional, a lot more feeling, a lot more creative, generally like musicians and actresses and actors and makeup artists, and just anything that is creative, water signs tend to be. I could go into what each element is supposed to represent, but this video is already getting a little lengthy. I just wanted to break down what signs fall into which categories. Another thing that a lot of people want to know is who should I be with according to my sign? In other words, compatibility. I think that knowing your partner's astrological sign is helpful. So it's kind of like it's a hard question to answer of whether or not you should pursue a relationship or not pursue a relationship simply based on astrology. I can say that when I look back on my dating life, it's so funny. I date the exact same type of person. My entire life I have dated earth signs, and earth signs and water signs are said to be the most compatible, and air signs and fire signs are said to be the most compatible. I know that they say that water and earth make mud, and that fire and air make something else. I don't remember, but I know that earth and water are supposed to be great together. And this was before I even really understood a lot of things about astrology, but I just find it so funny that my whole entire life I have dated Capricorns, Tauruses, and now a Virgo. And those have been all of my longer term relationships, and more serious relationships that I've had have all been with earth signs. I would say strongly consider being with somebody that's your exact same sign. I dated a Pisces in the past. Horrible. Put a horrible taste in my mouth about Pisces men. To this day, I do not have the most positive feelings about Pisces men. Men and women in the same sign can be so night and day different. Like, my mom and my boyfriend are so different in so many ways. And then my brother-in-law and my boyfriend are so similar, and they are both Virgos, and they're of course both males. So that's also very important to consider. My entire life, my closest friends have been Scorpios, and those are fellow water signs of mine, and I did not realize that until I looked back around this age and I looked at all of my friendships, and I'm like, wow, all of my closest friends have always been Scorpios. So I think that for friendships, you're okay to stick with your same sign, but I could never be with a Scorpio man. Like, it just, I don't see how that would work. I need balance. I'm a very emotional person. I am such a dreamer. I have my head in the clouds so much, and I need somebody to help ground that in me. Not to stunt my dreams, not to tell me what I can't do, but to help me be realistic with the things that I want to do. And earth signs generally do that. They're very, very stable. They're very reliable. And that's kind of what water signs kind of need to balance us out. So I guess that was a long way of saying yes and no. Don't base your entire relationship or dating someone off of whether or not your signs are compatible, but I do think that it is something to consider. In wrapping up this video, I guess I just want to say that I love astrology so much because it just helps me understand myself and my peers and my family a whole heck of a lot more, and it just is so real to me. Because why is it that my entire life I've been attracted to the exact same type of man and the exact same type of friends? I've always attracted the same type of people in my life. Like, there are certain signs that I don't know much about because I genuinely don't attract them around me. And I challenge you to kind of go back throughout your childhood and look at the people that were closest to you, and do some research into astrology and figure out who is really compatible for you and your sign, and look at the people that have been in your life and when it's worked and when it hasn't. And I can almost bet dollars to donuts that you will see a lot of things overlap. When I was putting this video together today, I noticed that my mom has 4 daughters, and all 4 of us are super different, and we are all different elements. She has one daughter that's an earth sign, a water sign, a fire sign, and an air sign. So I just feel like astrology is such a thing, and it's just crazy to me that people really try to make it seem like it's just crackpot science. So to you, my beginner that is watching this video, please do not knock it before you try it, and actually do some research into it, because at the end of the day, it just opens your eyes about the world around you, the people around you. It helps you to have a little more empathy, and it helps you to understand self more at the end of the day. And that's why I really like it, because I'm on an endless quest to understand who I am and how I can better myself in this world. Whew. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate it so very much. I know that it was a lot to jam pack into one video. I know I targeted this to beginners, but if we want to talk more about astrology, I am so happy to, because I just feel like it's such an interesting topic and subject. If you all want to see more of this type of content, please let me know. Don't be afraid to comment under this video. Like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed today's video. And don't forget to subscribe, share this video if you care, and make sure that you tune into the next one. If you have any opinions about anything that I talked about today, make sure you tell me, and also comment your sun sign down in the comments below, and also tell me something that you learned about this in this video that you didn't know before. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember to keep positivity in your life, because positivity breeds positivity, and we have no time for negativity in 2019. I will see you on the next one.